Hi, it's Rachel from the Shades of Orange. Today I want to do my February wrap-up. I read a total of 7 books this month, which was pretty good, and let's just jump right in. The first book I read this month was simply Irresistible by Shalvis. Because it was February and the month of Valentine's Day, I wanted to try reading a bit of romance. I'll admit it's not my go-to genre, and this book kind of missed the mark for me. I found the writing to be overly cheesy and the romance just didn't quite work for me. I just didn't love the male lead, which obviously is pretty important in romance. So it wasn't for me, but I know it's a really popular series by a really popular author. So if you like romance, don't write it off. It's probably just me. I also read Remembrance by Meg Cabot, and this is the 7th book in the Mediator series, which was super popular like 10 years ago when I was in high school, all about a teenager who was a ghost mediator. She could see and talk to ghosts, and it was her job to basically help them do whatever they needed to finish on Earth before they passed on to the afterlife. And I was really excited when she decided to write another book 10 years later. It's supposed to be an adult follow-up, but it still felt like YA to me, just with a little bit more sex, and I thought it was pretty good. If you were also a big fan of the Mediator series as a teenager, I do recommend it. But if you've never read the series before, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to you. I'd skip it for something else. Now for something quite different, I also read a book called Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski. And this is a nonfiction book all about female sexuality. Just talk about it really briefly because I don't want to go into weird places in this video, but it's just a really great book talking about a lot of myths that are around female sexuality. It's the kind of book that I awkwardly want to gift to all of my female friends. So it gives you an idea. I thought it was very good and gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Now the only audiobook I completed this month was Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi, which is a YA book classified as dystopian, but I would definitely call it more of a romance. It's about a young woman who has the ability to hurt and even kill people by touching them. And so she is locked away, considered to be a danger to society. And then she ends up finding a boy who she can possibly touch, and things evolve from there. The writing was extremely flowery, too flowery for my taste, and it was just super cheesy. It's the kind of book I can see why it's so popular, because it did have a really addicting quality to it, but it also wasn't great writing, so wouldn't really recommend it. I think I ended up giving it about 2.5 stars or so on Goodreads. It was okay, but not amazing. So this month, my favorite books were easily the graphic novels I read. I read a book called Hyperbole and a Half by Allie Brosh. This is originally a webcomic, which I had never read online before, and it was truly hilarious. I'm someone who tends to avoid funny books because I don't tend to find them very funny, but this book had honest, laugh-out-loud moments. I found myself rereading sections and reading them aloud to my husband because he wanted to know what I was laughing about so much. It basically is a story or a collection of kind of short stories all about her childhood, her experiences growing up, as well as becoming an adult, as well as being a dog owner. I particularly found the sections about her growing up, as well as owning a dog, to be hilarious. I thought it was so funny. If it had just been those sections alone, I probably would have given it 5 stars. However, the sections about her becoming an adult and dealing with depression were just a little bit too sad for me. So I ended up giving this book only 4 out of 5 stars. But if you're looking for that fun, lighthearted book to breeze through, this was the perfect book to read in what was somewhat of a slumpy month. So highly recommend Hyperbole and a Half. I also read the first volume of a graphic novel called Giant Days. This is a contemporary story about 3 young women who are just starting college, and they are roommates and become fast friends. They're all very different from each other. And it's just this great book about dealing with real issues that come up when you're coming of age and starting school and moving away for the first time, and relationships. There isn't a ton that really happens in this book, but I really got into it towards the end. The beginning took me out a couple pages to actually get invested in the story, but towards the end of the graphic novel, I was really enjoying it and look forward to reading the next volume because I really want to see more about the characters. They all felt really fleshed out and well-rounded, and so I look forward to seeing them develop even more. The last graphic novel I read is the only one I have here to show you, and that is Shoplifter by Michael Cho. This is another contemporary story about a young woman finishing college and then working at a marketing firm. And she's basically not loving her job, really questioning what she's doing with her life. And in the anxiety of trying to figure out what she wants to do, she occasionally shoplifts to just kind of deal with that stress. And this book is incredibly short, even for a graphic novel. It's like 96 pages, so it's almost more like a short story graphic novel than a full-length novel, but enjoyed it somewhat. I gave it about 3.5 stars. I feel like the story is going to be forgettable. I read it now almost a week ago, and I don't remember much about it anymore. So it's alright. It'd be good for a readathon because it's incredibly fast to read. I read it just in one sitting over, I don't know, half an hour. My one complaint with the artwork is that it's all done in a pink wash, which is kind of cool, but not my favorite. So if that's more your thing, maybe you'll like it more than I did, but not my favorite. That is everything I read this month. Please let me know down below what was your favorite book you read in the month of February. And as always, happy reading. I will talk to you again soon. Okay, bye.